the French don't tend to finish their animals, beef animals. They're going that way, and I think it's probably a good thing, because obviously traceability now, an animal being born, reared and finished on the same farm before it's actually slaughtered
It's seen as a big advantage.
is a good advantage, and it's what today the consumer's looking for.
And with French agriculture, you see it continuing being a very strong producer of red meats.
Oh yeah.
And red meat consumption's falling in France, or is it holding it
No,
up?
no, no. Beef is still holding its own, and always will. And the beef lobby is very strong. The lamb lobby is remarkably poor. I have a friend of mine who's a Frenchman who has pedigree, various breeds. He has a pedigree, and I mean he's a big hitter in the sheep world. But I mean even he's finding things
Shrinking up.
Shrinking, and he's having to diversify into even more breeds to be able to offer more of a better offer and of a larger range. But he's actually exporting, surprisingly, a lot of his breeding ewes into North Africa.
Amazing.
Which is where they're looking
With
to
a market
establish.
in the Arab world.
They're looking to establish sheep units. Whether they are irrigated, I don't know. I'm not too sure, but they're looking to establish big sheep units over there, and they will eventually be furnishing, no doubt, the French market with lamb
from Algiers and Tanzania in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a suitable climate for the French breeds, obviously, they can, with irrigation.
I suppose with irrigation. I don't know what the setup is over there, but a French ewe is not. I mean, I don't know what ewes you would be used to over there, but yours are principally geared towards grassland production. Over here, ours, yes, of course, they're geared towards grassland production. That'll be the base ration, but they need topping up. And we're looking at a productivity of about 1.25, selling or retaining as replacement stock 1.25 lambs per ewe.
And you obviously you're an agent, and you're supplying farms in France to British farmers, and the British farmers are keen to
change that to margin. I install people on farms, but still, okay, yeah, we'll cover that. It's a different thing. I don't sell farms, but I sell advice. But still, we'll go on.
And British farmers are keen to move away from England?
Oh yes, and they will continue to do so, because accessing land in Britain is impossible. It's far too expensive. If you can imagine that France is 2.5 times the size of Britain with the same population, there is obviously less demand in France for building. There is less demand for infrastructure. Even though France, as I said, is that much bigger, the infrastructure here is that much better than it is in Britain. Therefore, there is more land available. Therefore, farming has a better future. We also have a government, and have had governments for the last 20 years, that support farming, because at the end of the day, the farmers are the bedrock of the rural economy. And no politician can live and survive without farmers. And if they don't have the farmers just go on riot, and they go on strike, and they go and tip cabbages on the motorways and things like that, and get away with it.
You know, things change.
The French are very. The French have got and still retained what British farmers lost a long time ago. But and yes, there will always still be people coming over here. I've noticed in 10 years that what I do, that a flood of people wanting to come and set up as sheep farmers, that has now completely dried up, and there is nobody. The only people that want to come today are arable farmers, because arable grain prices are so good. Milk farmers, obviously, milk prices are good, and beef, because that will always remain a constant in France.
And you think the dairy farms in France, they're restricted by quota at the moment, aren't they? They have
yes, they are restricted by quota, but the quota thing is opening up, and for example, because there is insufficient production, the French government have said to them that they can produce another 20% more than their quota without being penalised.
So we're going to see quite strong growth in dairying in France.
Well,
except for the grain.
If only to reply to the demand, because the French don't. If you went to England, you would find somebody drinking a pint of milk just out of the carton or out of a glass or whatever. But here they don't. They make cheese, or they make yogurt, or they make various. They add value.
Yeah. And they're huge consumers of dairy products, but not in a traditional.
They don't drink. They don't drink milk like that, and they don't. They used not to, but they are now starting to eat. They're now starting to eat cereals at breakfast. They used not to. I mean, you find. The thing what you would find Wheatos, I suppose, what you have in New Zealand or whatever, you'll find them now over here. It is something new. Yes, I suppose the average family would have a packet of cereal in their whereas the traditional 60, 70-year-old rural village inhabitant, their breakfast is bread, butter, coffee. That's it.
And it's after the day's work.
Mm, mm, mm.
In